out. Just want to start by saying the chances of a terrorist attack on America. I know that's a joke. Rio's just reminded me, that's what I always say when we're at the Cobra training facility when we get ready to present our class and our presentation. But this day is a different day. This is a very, very, very special day to me. And I just want to let each and every one of y'all know, for you to get up and come out here to spend time with me has meant everything to me. God has really been good to me, and I see his goodness every day. And I see it right now in each and every one of your faces, because you got to love me. Because if you didn't, you said, hey, Tonya's doing that, well, I'm going the other direction. It has to be something that drew you here. And I know it had to be God, and it had to be his goodness and his love and his grace and his mercy. So with that being said, I want to tell you a little bit about the book. The book is God in My Life. It's been a while now, about 4.5 years ago, that God started speaking to me, started telling me things, and I started thinking to myself, I said, wow, this is really, really good. And I started to say, I need to write these things down because I will forget them. So that's how the book started, me writing things down, me starting to put titles on each thing. And then I started saying, hey, this goes with God's wisdom, so let me pull this up and put that with that. And let me take this piece and let me join this with this, and so on and so forth. So that's how the book got started. And my sister had always told me I had a book inside of me. But I said to myself, oh, she's just talking. I don't have a book inside of me. And she said that because I had been through a lot. And God knows I have been through so much in my life. But by the grace of God, I'm still here. And so with that, and him giving me this wisdom that he gives me every day, I decided to compile it and make it a book. And in that book, it talks only about me. It's just memoirs. It's about stuff I've done in the past, stuff I've done that I plan on doing in the future. It's stuff about my grandparents. It's about my friends. It's even about some of my enemies too. All that is inside of there. So what I want to do at this time is I want to take an opportunity to read some from you, read some things to you. This book, God in My Life, was broken down by God into 3 parts. I never knew it was going to be 3 parts. I had no idea it was 3 parts. One night I was laying in my bed and God said, this is a 3-part book. I say, what? He said, yeah. And I said, okay, then what are the titles? What are the 3 parts? He said, first going to be God's presence. That's me being present. Then he said the second part is going to be about your family history. He said, that's what we're going to do next. And then he went on to say, then I'm going to say God sums it up. Now, I wasn't real too crazy about God summing it up because of the fact I had gotten to a point that I was just tired of writing. I was fed up with writing. This was taking too long. Wasn't never going to get done. I was getting it edited. It's costing me more money. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, this is too much. But God said, I need you to write 3 more chapters for me. And God sums it up. And he said, doing the unexpected, everlasting friendship, and left behind to pick up the broken pieces. My last chapter, I thought, was the lost years. And that dealt with me losing a lot in those years that changed me and was a bad impact on me that led me away from God for so long. But God had a different ending. And I had to take into account his ending. And so I put my thoughts together and I wrote them. So, but before we get into the last part, let's talk about part 1. Part 1 kind of starts with my sister telling me about me being a writer and so on and so forth. I thought that was cute. I thought it was an attention getter and a motivator. And I loved it, and she did too. But the story I want to read you a paragraph about is what's hidden in my life. I drew this from my grandfather. My grandfather meant everything to me. Everything, everything, everything. He taught me about God. He taught me how to pray. God knows my grandfather meant everything to me. You know, I love my father, but my grandfather was special because I could feel his love anytime I was around him. But what I want to read you today is what's hidden in your life. I should have brought my glasses, so if it get a little bit blurry, bear with me. I said, when I was a child, my family frequently traveled from Atlanta, Georgia to Roanoke, Alabama to visit my grandparents who lived on a farm. Because of the time and distance of our journey, we spent the night. My grandma always prepared a big feast and lots of trimmings. My favorite memory of her is cooking greens in a Presto pressure cooker and hearing the whistling sound coming from that pot where those greens were done. My grandma had a sign in her kitchen the size of a car tag. It said, "Let me tell you about my grandchildren." And then she would say, "They are all," I put dot, 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 dot. And I'm gonna say, you fill in the blank. Because I don't wanna reveal what she actually said. That's when I went dot, dot, dot. Then I went on to say, my grandpa was the one who spent majority of his time talking to me and my siblings about life. I said, I will never forget his views on life, which I won't, I promise you, or what I call philosophies. I liked it when he told me stuff like, it's your little red wagon, you can push it or you can pull it. Or if you hang around trash long enough, it's gonna get in your eyes. Or feed your enemies out of a long-handled spoon, and much, much more. Occasionally, he would sing songs to us, and his song of choice was "The Half Have Never Been Told," a hymn that affected him greatly and made him cry. This song brought a lot of emotions from a small-framed gentle man, and now I understand why. Because only half of my life story has ever been told. So I'm going to end it right there. There's more to it, but that's what I want to talk about my grandfather. And Tony's finally here. We've been waiting for you, Tony. Okay, now that Tony's here, the party most definitely can get started. Okay, now on part 2, I had already told you I had been led and guided to do my family history includes God. Well, for some of you, you know my father passed away. For others who don't, my father passed away. But I chose I Wonder Where You Are is because I have a connection to my father in this story. And it goes like this. Long ago when I was a youngster, I learned a prayer that went, "Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. If I should die before I wake, I pray to God my soul to take." A prayer based on the original form written by Joseph Addison in 1711. It's short, simple, effective, and taught to children all over the world. It's a prayer that I've said often before going to sleep, and one I taught to my younger grandchildren. The title, "I Wonder Where You Are," is a question some people ask after someone dies. It's a question only God can answer. One night, I had a dream that I was walking toward a group of mountains that appeared to have their faces cut off. Over my right shoulder, I could see a bright light. I remember casting my sight in the direction of the light, quickly putting my right arm up to protect my eyes and thinking, "Oh, that's a bright light." I still remember that dream to this day. And then I went on to say, I found myself turning my head away from the light shielding myself from the intensity, and I continued walking, and soon I came across a paved road with a car driving westbound. The car appeared to be a Mercury built in the 60s. From this distance, I could see the silhouette of three people. The driver, a front seat passenger, and a back seat passenger. I approached the vehicle as it was crossing my path, and I saw my dad. He was driving, talking, laughing to the person sitting next to him. He looked as if he wasn't a day over 30 and appeared to be in good health. I'm gonna stop it right there, okay? All right. So, I do have one other thing I want to read to you guys before we eat and mingle and get to know each other a little bit better, and everything is, God sums it up. And the reason why I chose everlasting friendship is because I feel God is my friend. And I know that no matter what I do, he'll be my friend. Well, this story goes this way. My friendship with God is everlasting, and that self-assurance originates from the teaching of the Bible. Being taught as a child God's word, I chose to integrate God's values into my heart. My knowledge of God lets me know he won't leave me, and he's always by my side, even when our friendship is being tested. I still say he's the most valuable thing I have here on earth. I assure everyone I can't live without him. If asked questions about my trials and I had to endure, many, and believe me, I've endured many. I tell them what I've been taught. This comes to make me stronger. Now, am I stronger? I don't know, but I cry less. I'm like a washcloth filled with water, twisted and dried, implying I am no longer dismayed by what comes my way. So I'm gonna end it right there. It's more to it, but I just want to give you a little sample of what's inside the book. I want to thank each and every one of you for coming out, supporting me, for being good. I ask God to bless each and every one of you with anything that you ask Him for, because if He'll do it for me, He can do it for anybody. We just gotta believe that He is, and He is. And I love each and every one of y'all. God bless you. Thank you. We'll go ahead and leave. So let's eat and drink some apple cider drink. Was it worth? Come on, y'all, let's eat. Did you enjoy it? Yes. It was good.
It's beautiful.
Well, come on, let's eat it.
Okay.
Come on, let's wiggle around. Look, probably here trying to stir the company. They even wish he was on time, I bet you.